We should also understand, we should keep in mind that knowledge is realized in stages. That must be kept in mind. Today you don't know driving, and today you took one lesson, and after a year you take another lesson. What will happen? You know it. But we say, I'm busy. Busy for what? Busy to have stress and suffering in life? So, two things. First, the knowledge is realized in stages, it cannot happen in a day. Like the seed does not become a tree overnight. That is, that needs to be kept in the mind. And that leads us to what we have done before. Huh? Temporary means for permanent solution. That is very important to understand. And the difference between the mind and the intellect. Intellect is always available the way the mind is available. We don't use it. We put it into the background. How? No, no, you are, I don't like you, I hate you. We start blaming and complaining. I'm in grief, don't disturb me. Better, I will never disturb you until you live. Remain in grief. No worries. Why should I disturb you? We don't understand. We don't allow the intellect to be available to us. And when you don't make your intellect available, suffering will continue. The last week we understood in the journey of the Eastern wisdom. What is that journey? Which will take us to the permanent peace and happiness, love and wisdom, permanent peace. Mind says, I have tried for so many years. What to talk about permanent peace? You have tried in a wrong way. I have to realize this. If I don't realize, then problem will continue. I've been doing the same thing and expecting a different result. I'm seeking a temporary pleasure and I claim it is a permanent happiness. It will never happen. That we do not understand. I will say I do not understand. You guys understand it very clearly. So one topic we have also covered, the successful in the world does not mean successful in the life. The greatest example is our dear friend. I don't want to name him. Everyone wants to be that great friend. Huh? What? Day before yesterday, I read the news that he was crying and he was saying it is all my mistake. Is this the journey of a successful life? Successful person? So now, today, we will understand from the same teachings that helps us to go a little deeper. I know everything. No, no, I know everything. And still I have fears, anxiety, sorrow, and suffering. Ask yourself. Do you know everything? Yes, I know everything. If my honey changes, I will change. That is the problem. This is what I know. But I don't see, can I change? Can I change? The world outside will not change for you. Do whatever you want to do. So the Eastern wisdom teaches how we have to change. So the first question we should ask, I claim I know everything and still I have fears, anxiety, sorrow and suffering? it means I don't know anything. I have to restart the journey. You have heard it last week and you have forgotten, you have to restart the journey. Not possible. You should understand clearly what a teacher in the Eastern wisdom does. You go to him and you explain your worries in the problem. Teacher explores the problem caused by the wrong notion, delusion in light of the knowledge. First, teacher supports the mind to know the cause and effect relationship of the problem. Teacher helps you to explore we are our true nature is beyond cause and effect. Then what the teacher says, the fourth point, now it is your turn. Think, think, contemplate, reflect. Are you responsible for your sorrow and suffering or somebody else? So if you don't think, nothing will happen. Now, once you start thinking, you find that I am responsible for my sorrow and happiness, you have become a seeker. At least in the intellect, the delusion is gone. The wrong notions are gone. And then comes the practice. You practice and you reach there. But to become a seeker, I have to keep aside what I know, and still I have a problem. Did you understand this? Very clear. I know everything. I'm very intelligent. I have seen not one, from the corporate executives to IT professionals. I know. So I said, then why you have come to me? So that leads us to another understanding that ignorance, we claim ignorance is bliss. We are sleeping, we do not know anything. In a deep sleep, obviously there is a peace and calm. That is also ignorance. Sleep is just a state of ignorance. So when there is a complete ignorance, we don't listen. I told you this story. The guy drank 4 packs of vodka inside his home in the presence of his wife. After drinking 4 packs, the husband told the wife, beautiful woman, I do not know you, but can you help me to reach my home? That ignorance is a great bliss. That is what we do in our life. So the master is pointing, I have to think in line with these principles. If we do not think in line with these principles, I still claim I know everything, nothing is going to happen. So Eastern wisdom says we are real self. How to know it here and now? Do you love peace? Yes, peace is my nature. What a great deal. Do you love happiness? Yes, I love happiness. Happiness is my nature. How can you prove? Do you love stress? No, that is not your nature. Do you love to survive? Answer is yes. Existence is my nature. This is what is the real self, a state of pure consciousness. That is our journey. But unless you remove these wrong notions and delusion in your mind, those delusion and wrong notions are totally settled in your mind, and that claims what it claims. I'm intelligent, I know everything. Other guy is wrong. Situation is wrong. Condition is unfavorable. Nothing will happen. Because you are finding the cause of your problem, your worries, your anxiety, your anger outside. Wrong notion. How do you say that? Can you tell me any person is an epitome of stress and suffering? Any human being? How can you say that? How can you blame others? I know some of you might be thinking, no, don't tell me, you don't understand how long I have been suffering from this guy or that girl. So again, you are feeding the wrong notion. Because of the wrong notion, mind continues to live in attachment to which it says is love. That causes the sorrow, and we enter into delusion. So, three factors: attachment or detachment. Shoka means sorrow and suffering, and it leads to a totally wrong perception about this world outside where we live in. And we are suffering. So, what we do? We need to learn life, action, and desire. What are these life, action, and desire, and how to transcend these desires that causes the suffering? Our master teaches that the real self is pure consciousness that has an independent existence, that is of the nature of love, peace, happiness, wisdom, and existence. I can be into that state at any moment, in every situation, with anyone, with everyone, unlike my dear friend. We live, you may say that I lived my life with the wealth. Don't you think that I'm intelligent? I have earned billions of dollars, then why are you suffering? Does the dollar bill has happiness, peace, and wisdom written there? That is why my dear friend is suffering. I have to recognize it. I should have a cognitive ability. If I don't have that cognition, it means I'm living my life in delusion. Result is I'm happy, yes, I'm happy, still I'm unhappy. I'm okay, still I feel emptiness. How are you? No, I'm doing fine today. Today. I heard from some of one from you. I'm fine today. So okay, tomorrow you are waiting for stress. You see, your thought process, that feeling of a happiness, even in happy moments, chases us from all the directions. That is the thing. That feeling, thoughts, haunts us. How they haunts us? With an unknown fear, insecurities, unknown sorrow. And if they haunt us, we may be happy temporarily with little or more desires fulfilled, that is all. But the true happiness will not come. So it is important for us to understand the entire field of desires. Why? Desire simply means I am seeking something outside for my peace and happiness. That is the definition of a desire. But To be very clear, second factor in the desire, because why I am seeking happiness from an object or a person outside, because I have already projected happiness there. That is why I am seeking happiness there. But no object and no person outside has an element of happiness, peace, love, and wisdom. Look at the John is drinking coffee. Does the coffee says, look, take it, take me. I am full of happiness. No worries. All your worries will come to an end. It never says. No, no, continue taking it. See? So we need to understand this word which is known as desire. We have four groups of desires. You can collect all the billions of desires. You can group it into four categories according to Eastern wisdom. You can say the first category of desire is to make an effort to work to earn wealth, whether it is liquid money, whether it is you are buying something, or any kind of a wealth. That also includes the wealth of power and wealth of recognition, power, liquid money, car, home, liquid cash. That is fine. We should. We should. But question comes why we earn this wealth, whether it is of recognition, power, liquid cash, car, etc., for pleasure. So that is our second group of desire. So all kinds of desires are fulfilled by our first effort of first group of desires. So first group of desire is to earn a wealth, to accumulate, to possess, to own, etc., etc. Why we want to possess and own and make an effort? To have a pleasure in our life. Sorry. So that is the two groups of desires. But these two groups of desire, if they are regulated by ethical and moral values, a proper, fair degree of pleasure comes to our life. Did you understand that? I earn wealth by ethical means. I pay my taxes to the IRS. See, if I don't pay, fear, insecurities. You see, anxiety. So ethicals means that I follow the rules, the law of the land. Based on that, I regulate my desire to earn wealth and also to have a pleasure. You already know the word infidelity. I'm not going there. Or you already understand. So that also demands some ethics. So another part of this third group of desires to follow a religion, to follow a cult and dogma, and to dream of heaven. It's a blind belief that heaven never comes. There is no heaven because I cannot prove. There is no valid means. I have not seen it. I see the wealth, I see the pleasure. Do you see that? So that distorts your mind. So if you say religion, all the religion teaches a minimum level of ethics. It does not superimpose do's and don'ts. Do I want anybody should be cheated? No. So I should not cheat anybody. Do you expect someone to tease you and make you suffer? No. So I should not do it. This is what they think. Simple. Don't go into the religion. It's a common sense. It's basically a common sense. So once we follow these common sense in desire. That is also known as a desire. Now examine all the three groups of desire is fulfilled in contact with someone, something outside in the world. And it has a cause and effect relationship. That is what I covered in the very beginning. Unless I think and contemplate what is the ultimate cause and effect relationship of this particular thought action, I cannot find out what is permanent peace and happiness, love and wisdom. So, fourth desire, what is the fourth desire? The fourth desire is freedom from fear, insecurity, sorrow, grief. After finding the cause in the mind, removing it first in the fourth group of desire. And the second thing, once you understand that I can remove the false notion and the delusion, now I understood why the grief, why the sorrow, why the anxiety takes place. It is gone, but still the impression remains. And this impression blocks the awakening to permanent peace and happiness. Hence, practice, practice, practice. Artha. Artha in Sanskrit word means wealth of all kinds, movable, immovable, prestige, recognition, power, fame. Let us have it. Let us have everything, provided you do not project happiness in any one of them. Who does that? Intellect. How it does that? When I think, then it will do it. I have a couple, who have a fight between both of them. One says I'm earning too much, and obviously you can understand she is spending too much. So I told the handsome man, we are also handsome, John and me, yes. So, so because you are earning too much, that's why she is spending too much. Let her spend. Give a limit. This is what is my earning. These are the expenses. These are the savings. Here is the money, whatever you want to do. Why you are worried? When you say you are spending too much, it means I want you to spend in this way. It means I have an authority over you, and that causes the problem. Second is a group of desire is pleasure seeking. Pleasure, yes, obviously. What I like, I can afford it, and it follows the ethics. Let me have it. Where is the problem? Provided I do not project pleasure as happiness. Again, there is a caveat. Why? Happiness is my nature, it is within me. Honey, I have been loving you for 20 years. You never loved me the way I love you. What a funny statement. Do you have a parameter? Do you have a 1 to 10 factor? How much you love me and how much others love you or not? This also causes the delusion. So we have to apply the do's and the don'ts. What I'm doing, is it right or wrong? If it is wrong, I create a wrong notion, I will suffer. I have to suffer the whole life. Do whatever you want. Fourth desire is freedom from the mind. First three desires, mind is working on me, causes the delusion. If I work on the mind, I can regulate the first three groups of desires in a orderly manner. Finished. When there is an orderliness in the mind, my mind is free. Then only I can become a seeker and I can follow the fourth group of desire. But if the mind is not free, how can you follow this path? How can you become a seeker? Think of it. I'm putting everything logically. I'm not saying have a blind belief. I have already told you what a teacher in the Eastern wisdom does. They don't promise anything. Everything lies in you. Whether you listen or you do not listen. When you listen, you start thinking, you become a seeker, you understand. And then the journey to the Eastern wisdom for the self discovery begins. Eastern wisdom is the path of freedom. When I say freedom, means freedom from the fear and the insecurities, from the anxiety, from the grief. Until the mind is occupied, heavily conditioned with the first three groups of desire, freedom is not possible. Moderating, balancing, understanding is required. So, when that understanding is clear, then what happens? Then what happens? Mind is now relatively free as compared to the mind that is working on us. You can communicate with the mind consciously and not allow the mind to be dictated by the preferences, likes and dislikes, attachment and delusion, and the wrong notions. We are running in the world. To tell you frankly, some people say that, I'm very busy. Busy for what? Once a week, I cannot find the time for 1 hour. So I can make out how many times you have been practicing every day. So I take it easily. My role of as a teacher and a guide in the Eastern wisdom, we are very funny people. We will guide you. You are ready to think and contemplate. Very good. You don't do it. Still very good. Why? You are responsible. From the step one, if we don't make you realize that you are responsible, nothing will happen. We are very clear. Another point that needs to be understood with reference to the mind working on us. We start earning money. We have earned first project, second project, third. After the third, mind says, continue to run. Run after the wealth. It will make you happy. We continue running. We invite fear and insecurities and anxiety. And a dividend, lot of problems as we cross 40 or 50, and we still are running. That is the wrong notion. See the people. See $127 billion. Huh? Put it. That is why we also understood that this mind which came from the animal kingdom lives at the low self awareness. They do not have an intellect, they cannot observe and separate that I need a freedom from the fear and the insecurities. I was looking at the Discovery Channel. The lion was resting, and five hyenas attacked him, and he was killed. Hyenas can kill the lion. $127 billion. I think I have a total insecurity. No. I'm repeating $127 billion. I know I cannot earn that, and I don't want to. But if you feel you can earn, continue. So, what we have done to take away, if we say that, what is the takeaway today? Apply common sense. Don't allow the mind to move into nonsense. Near and the dear one is not listening to you. Check. Is your mind listening to you? That is more important than someone else outside is listening to you. 50% of the problem will drop. Why I am forcing anyone to listen to me? Why? Because you are my honey, you are my son and daughter. Really? You are moving in a wrong direction. Apply common sense. I want respect, so I should respect others. I want love, so I should love everyone with the care and caring and sharing. Love does not mean demanding and expecting. I do not want to cheat others, so common sense. That helps my mind to follow the intellect. I have started thinking. Why? I have an upsurge of emotion and I want to blame you. Before I blame you internally, I'm thinking and contemplating. No. I give a break. I contemplate and think. Is there other way instead of blaming others? Let me think. When you start thinking, you find it is your own mind that is causing the problem. And once you realize, you start living in higher self awareness. That is what the human being is. That is why I explained you the grace and the blessings. See that? The next moment, you are free. You ease down your mind. The last one, you think in this way also. Can I accept myself to be unhappy? So, do you have a thought in your mind to make someone unhappy? So, first you make yourself unhappy before you make others unhappy. Look at it. Do you see the effect? So, what should I do? Common sense. I think, look at it. My perception decides I am happy or unhappy, painful or non painful, and similar. Once I feel that I'm unhappy and I don't listen, I am not aware, I don't live at the higher level of self awareness, I also make others unhappy. It is better to be drunkard like that guy who took 4 packs of vodka and asking his wife while he's sitting at his home and asking him, "Can you take me to my home?" That guy is much better than living at a very lower level of self awareness. Eastern wisdom says self awareness is the beginning and the self awareness is the end of the journey. How dare you? Mind can make me unease. No, no, mind says no, I'm thinking about John. I will make him crazy. Hold on. You are crazy, then I make him crazy. this intellect thinks because of the highest level of self-awareness. No animals can think of this. Animals have survival. They want to survive. They also have the same thing. They want to survive. So they kill people. They don't understand what is killing. We understand. Because we understand it, that is why it causes the problem. And that is why we have to go beyond the cause and effect relationship to reach to that state of consciousness. Real self is our nature. Don't forget to remind yourself and start thinking in the way. What is that thinking in the way? What is that thinking? Ask yourself, sitting alone, do I love peace? Yes. Ask 5 times. And then ask the mind, do you confirm it? Yes. Then peace is my nature. Oh, next moment the mind says, that guy is crazy. Ask your mind again. When I'm thinking this thought of being crazy, am I disturbed? Yes, I'm disturbed. Common sense. Drop it. This is what the higher level of self awareness does. It is a 24-hour practice. I live my life consciously. It is not that, I will sit, I will go on vacation and then I think. So put your life also on vacation and then let me see. You cannot do it. Common sense. So once we evaluate the 4 groups of desires based on a common sense, we come to a conclusion that fear and insecurities and a grief and sorrow and suffering lies in my heart, in the mind. I have to remove it. That is the goal. And that will lead me to freedom. Let us start our practice now. Eyes are closed.